Hey, good morning, Westside Church. Hey, I happen to be in Seattle, Washington with some family. I'm on a rooftop overlooking the amazing cityscape of Seattle and Space Needle to my left behind. And it's interesting, up early this morning as the sun was just coming up over the horizon and thinking about the energy and the movement in the city and the millions of people and all of the connections and the electronic waves going through the air as people were waking up and texting and emailing and everything across this city and across the globe. And today we're talking a little bit about the spiritual discipline of unplugging, and specifically unplugging electronically. You know, we're so connected. I don't have to tell you this. You know this through our phones, through TV, our laptops, computers, reading books on Kindle or listening on Audible, social media platforms across the board that are too numerous to mention. Our connectivity with each other is amazing, and it's fantastic in so many ways in terms of productivity and honestly our ability to connect in ways that we couldn't without these technologies. But they also come with a detriment, as most things. There's a positive and a negative side, and our connection, our ubiquitous, non-stop connection electronically can really stifle other types of really meaningful connection. And again, I don't think this is something we don't understand, but it's almost something that we just have to be reminded of. And so today I want to encourage us to think about unplugging in a couple of practical ways. And why do that? Well, the reality is when we are so connected to our devices, we miss out on face-to-face connection. There's something about that human, face-to-face, voice-to-voice, slowing down, hearing, seeing, feeling, reading body language, tone, all of these things that is lost over electronic communication. There is something to also our connectivity and time to slow down and let our brain slow down so that we can have time to think and process and connect with God without just being prompted by something electronically or constantly engaged by something electronically. There's also something powerful in terms of unplugging and disengaging electronically that reminds us that God is God and we are not. Oftentimes our electronics cause us to think that we are so needed all the time, every moment, every second, every of the day. We are so worried that if we don't stay up on the latest email or Slack or Teams communication or text or whatever it is, that something's going to go wrong, something's going to fall apart. Whether it's through work or family or whatever, we're so worried and fearful, really, of missing something. The news is no different. We're so fearful that if we don't keep up on the latest current event to the minute, we're going to somehow be uninformed, misinformed, out-informed. And I want to tell you, if something significant happens in the news, trust me, someone's going to tell you. You're not going to miss anything that's meaningful or actionable. And so really today is a call and a challenge for all of us to find windows of time to unplug. I'm not talking about throwing technology out the window or abandoning it. I'm not saying it's bad or evil, but I'm just saying there's a balance to it that can be struck, and I think there's a lot of benefits to be gained. A couple thoughts on that. One is just the freedom from compulsive grip that technology has on us. I'll talk more about that in a moment. It's almost an addictive response. I mean, think about it. When your phone dings, just like mine, what do? We flinch. We flinch. Our phone tells us how high to jump, and we jump. The news tells us how to think, and we think. There's just so much, again, technologically, that if we're not careful to disconnect, we'll miss out. I also think that we miss out on creativity. We have lost the art of being bored. We've lost the art of allowing our brains to, for a moment, be idle and have nothing to think about to the point where we're bored. The moment we get bored, we look. We start to search for, we start to scroll through, we start to look for anything to keep us entertained or occupied or whatever it may be. And I love what the author Cal Newport writes. He's the author of many books, one of them Deep Work. Highly recommend that book. He writes this related to solitude and creativity. He says, embrace boredom. Intense concentration is a skill that must be trained Much like athletes who must take care of their bodies outside of their training sessions, you'll need to take care of your concentration. If throughout your day-to-day life you give in to distractions at the slightest hint of boredom, you'll struggle to develop the type of intense concentration necessary for deep, and I'll say meaningful, work in life. Even worse, you'll literally train and rewire your brain for on-demand distraction. The result? You'll be wired for getting distracted over and over again, even if you want to concentrate and work deeply. The solution? Listen to this. Embrace boredom. Embrace boredom. Stop checking your inbox or looking at your smartphone at every opportunity you get. Train your ability to resist distractions. And I love this. We see this in the life of Jesus, and obviously he didn't live in a technological era like we have. But in Matthew chapter 14:23, it says, after Jesus had dismissed the crowds, the constant onslaught of engagement, he had to unplug. After he dismissed the crowds, he went up on a mountainside by himself to pray. When evening came, he was still there alone. Even Jesus, and we know this, he had to find times to disengage, to unplug from what was in his day the constant beckoning and onslaught of outside inputs and demands. And for us electronically, that's where most of those come from us today. So, two really simple practical things. One, start small. Pick an hour today and literally shut off every electronic device. 1 hour. Trust me, you'll survive. The world will keep spinning. Nothing will fall apart. And then let's see if we can escalate that. Take 1 day a week, 12 hours. That's all I'm asking. Not while you're sleeping, but 12 hours of awake time. See what happens if you turn everything off, allow yourself to be bored, allow yourself to re-engage with people, friends, meaningful face-to-face relationship. Allow yourself to re-engage in moments with God where you don't have your phone, your Bible in your hand, and let's see what God might do in and through us as we do. God bless you. Have a great day. Peace out from Seattle.